Good morning. Yes, it's still morning. To all of those who subscribe to my video or just because. Hi, Earthy Wise Woman here. Um, and I've been told by those who sponsor me that I need to say this before I start my video. Please subscribe to my channel. I know I don't have a lot of content up there yet, but I will if you will. Because if you don't subscribe, I'm going to think, they're not that interested. So please subscribe. Now, that being said, today I want to talk about what is energy work and why it's so important. First of all, many people believe that energy work generally means meditation or chanting or such things like that, things that are on a metaphysical level. And that's not true. Energy work is anything on any of the levels. So let's say you want to put in energy work for candle magic. Okay, very common. And the first thing you're thinking is, well, I'll light this candle and I'll put my intent into making this happen. I'll chant and I'll hum and I'll just repeat the words and it will happen. That is only part of the work. And it's not even the major part of the work. I want you to hear me. It's not the major part of the work. So I'm going to give you two examples on what I'm saying. Now, first, there's this candle right here. It's a beautiful candle. I poured this candle. Now, pouring this candle is a major part of the energy work. So I'm going to list all of the components of what I did to create this candle. Number one, I sat down and I thought about what I wanted in the candle, how I wanted it to look. That's very important. Number two, I put the wax, cut it up, put it in a measuring container, and I melted the wax. Physically melted the wax. Stirred the wax to melt it. Added the color to make it purple. And I melted it, and then I poured it up. Then I waited. This is all part of energy work now. I waited. I even skipped a step. What did I do? I skipped the step about me placing the wick in there, which is also a part of the energy work here. After I poured the purple part of this candle, I waited. Then I melted more wax. And then I added the color for the gold area. And I stirred it, and I waited. Then I poured the gold over the purple, but I had to wait for the purple to get it hard enough so that the gold and the purple didn't completely mix together. All of this may sound extremely mundane, but it's part of the intention of what you want this candle to do for you. I mixed this candle for mental prosperity. And what I mean by mental prosperity is this. I poured this candle for someone to have a good idea and be able to take that idea and manifest it into the physical universe to create the solution. So let's say you wanted to create a store. and you're not sure what kind of store you want to create. Well, the purple is to open up your third eye, your pineal gland, get it active so you can see what would be needed and wanted and what I would enjoy when I did what I wanted to do to make money. The gold is for the prosperity and to enlighten you and what would be the best way to create a prosperous situation. But now listen to how I did it. I didn't just go out, buy a candle, and say, okay, I want to open up a store, make me prosperous. I want to be rich. Thank you. Like the candle, everything good. No, I put in the energy work in order to craft this candle, in order to make what I want and desire to manifest into the physical universe. I put forth the work. Now, I'm going to put that candle aside. The reason I'm telling you this, 90% of spell casting and magic is in the energy work. Many times at my Etsy store, Earthy Wise Woman, all one word, Earthy Wise Woman, I've got to put that down below in my inbox, which I will. My store is on Etsy. Many times I have people say, well, I'm going to go ahead and buy the candle. Will you please do this for me? And I always decline and say, no, I will not. Not because Earthy Wise Woman trying to be mean or grouchy or nothing. Because I know it will not work as well as it would be if you did the work. Because this is what you desire to manifest in the universe. So you're asking other people to put forth the energy that you need to be putting forth in order to manifest what you want. Magic, spell casting is a personal thing. And you have to take it that way. You have to intentionally say, okay, this is what I want. And this is what I'm willing to do to make that happen. Now, I just recently finished another candle. I will be placing this candle on my website. Now, at my Etsy store, Earthy Wise Woman, here's the candle. Look at that. Now this is obviously for money, but look at the energy work I put into it. Look at all that. I drew all that. I'm not saying I'm the greatest artist. No. I'm saying I understand the need for the energy work. Would this candle have worked without me doing all of that? Yes. But it wouldn't have worked as well. Because the more energy you put into your magic, the more effective your magic is going to be. Now, if someone buys this candle and says, well, okay, I'll just buy it like the candle. Will this candle still be intense? Yes, because I put the energy into this candle. Now, you're going to have to finish it. We're putting the energy into charging the candle. Now, I want you to look at that. I would strongly suggest to anybody, put the energy in. You get what you do. In other words, the old saying was you get what you pay for. In this case, if you put the energy work in, you'll reap the benefits out. And that's just always true in all forms of things that we do. So I put the energy into this candle. And I intentionally put a lot of color. I poured the wax. So let's put the energy to listing. I already told you what I did for the other candle. I'm going to tell you what I did for this one. With this candle, I had to scrape off the original label of this jar because, real quick, it was a pickle jar. Yes, this was crafted in a pickle jar. So, how deep does the energy work goes? Well, I recycled. Recycling is a form of energy, and it is a form of reverence to the goddess because it's saying, I'm not going to throw anything away. I'm going to repurpose this in order so that this glass doesn't end up in some landfill. I am going to repurpose this. Okay, so how do you repurpose a pickle jar? First of all, you got to wash it. You got to eat the pickles. You've got to dump out the pickle juice or drink the pickle juice or whatever. Then you have to wash it. And you have to sterilize it in order to get the pickle smell out, of course. Then you have to get the label off. That is not always easy, but you know it has to be done. Usually, I take my magical tool, my bowline, and I literally take my bowline and I scrape off with my magical knife, which is what a bowline is, the label. Scrape it off, whatever it takes, and I soak it in very, very hot water. Get the label off, then soak it again to get it cleaner. Then after that, dry it out, let it stand for a few days, put a wick into it. Then comes the mixture of the wax. Now, this candle, it's green. I don't know if you can see that. I didn't just, okay, I'm going to get some wax and some dye and I'm going to just make it purple. I mean green. I didn't. Actually, there's a reason why I did say purple. I did put purple in this. And you can't see it, but there's purple wax in this, along with the green wax. I wanted the purple because I still want my third eye to be open. I still feel like money is a mental thing that we should draw to you. I just happened to look at a color wheel and knew that the green wax would overpower the purple. And that was intentional. After I poured the wax, I waited for the wax to dry. When the wax did dry, I intentionally added white. See that white? I like the white because white generally represents all hues, all colors. And I added a scent to this candle. The scent of this candle is honeysuckle because honeysuckle is sweet, sweet and just syrupy, just like money. Money is sweet when it comes to you. It's honey. I added that to the white of the candle. And because white includes all colors, which is why I took the time to add every color I had. Now this is actually done with an acrylic set of markers. Acrylic is paint. So I didn't do this with watercolors or Sharpies. This is acrylic. A lot of work. And I put the money sign there because it represents money. Okay. I also, before I even colored onto this candle, I cast 3 times on this candle. The first casting was on a waning moon to remove poverty, poor. So I didn't want no poor. I didn't want negativity. I intentionally said, poor, no money, get away from me. I didn't say no money. I want money. So I said, poor, destitute, in need, be gone. Be gone. And I put that on a waning mood, and that's the intention I initially put into the candle. And then when there was a new moon, which is generally just void, I just didn't want the voids to be with me. So I took it off my altar and waited. When the full moon came back, I intentionally put just the money sign on here. And then I just said, let it rain. Money rain on me. And I call for the 4 elements to rain money down upon whoever got, actually not me, but whoever got the candle. Let money rain down to them. Let it come from the element of fire. Let it burn into them. Let it come from the element of air. Let it just come like the winds. Money, 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 money. The element of air. I already said that. The element of earth. Let money just grow for these people. Grow, grow, and intentionally come. The element of water. Let it rain down upon them, which means it's going to water the earth and it'll grow, or it'll just rain down upon them. So this is money coming from all four and all the colors. All these colors represents the four elements because it's a mixture of all of it. And the white is all the hues. So all together, there's an intense amount of energy work that went into this prosperity money candle. All right, really, it's just money, but prosperity does have a lot to do with money. Now, I say that to say this. My dog, please forgive me. Hold on. Okay, now that the mail lady has left, God has blessed that woman. She's a good woman. I put in a lot of energy work. So you can imagine what would happen when I decide to sell this candle. The other person who buys it will put their energy towards it, and we got a lot of intense energy. But I say it to say this. I'm going to go further. You need to put the energy in order to get the desired effects out. You don't put the energy in, you will not get the effects out. Now, last but not least, far from being least, I crafted this poppet. Look at that. That's an intense poppet. One of my more intense ones. Now, you're seeing all of the artwork and such on it because everything is, there's a reason for all things. The serpent, the sacred thing. The skull is not to scare people, it is to honor the ancestors. The little bottle of, in this case, I would like to say rum, but I'm not. It's really whiskey, apple whiskey, but back in the day, call it rum. It is to kind of honor the deity, whoever that might be, because alcohol is sweet and the fire to hurry up and get that done. The bells to ring and bring it in and call upon the deities. The word no is to not know negative, but know positive. Bring it in. I need to know. I need to realize. And the flower just for the beauty. Now, I have not activated this doll, but I've put the energy work in it. Number one, I do not sew with the sewing machine. So all this is sewn by hand. All of it, right down to cutting out the pattern by hand. And I took my time on doing, or I'm sorry, crafting this doll, doing the doll, crafting the doll. This doll literally took me over 6 months. And I only crafted during a full moon cycle. Because when it comes to poppets, I like to think it's high energy. So I usually wait till a full moon. So this doll literally took me 6 months to craft. Now I say that I've taken longer on other dolls because I put the energy work in. And yes, this doll will be offered on my website, but I tell people all the time, magic is not something you rush. You should never rush your magic. You should never rush spell casting. I'm gonna put the doll aside. Magic is something that should be taking your time with, and you should take your time, do it right. Hold on, I'll be right back. My daughter Moondon, she always calls at the weirdest times. Go figure. So, back to energy work. I put the energy into this. Add your energy to it. Because that is the one thing that I remember when I was in a coven that most people don't remember. I'm old school. It's when 2 or 3, 4, 5, 13 practitioners get together for a common cause. It will happen. Um, some, all right, I'm gonna go with mystical. I don't want to go with the real thing. But um, many people watch the movie Practical Magic. And when the two aunts said, we need a coven, so many people, this many people would be better. It's because the more people who come together for a common cause, the more inclined it is to happen. Even in the Bible, when Jesus says, when 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them. Or when I remember a few people said, well, we're going to have a prayer where we want so many people to join in to make this happen. And a lot of people are like, well, why is it that one can't? Because one can. But imagine how much energy is in 20. Now imagine the energy is in 2,000 or 3,000. I know that there are a lot of people, a lot of enlightened people. Like there are a few that I can think of off the top of my head. David Wilcock is one of the people that just comes to my head, who says, I want everybody to think and put forth this energy to make this happen. And it happens. Well, it happens because we all put in our energy for a common goal, a common cause. This was my energy. Add yours to it. Imagine the energy work that would be happening. Imagine if you by yourself even did this, because you put in so much energy from beginning to end. Which is why I say, back in the old days when people used to have to make their candles or have to make their magical devices, they were so intense, is because they had to put in the energy to craft it before they used it. It's one of the reasons why I'm very grateful that there are certain magical tools I own that were crafted by practitioners, not bought off the shelf. They had to hand make them, like robes or wands, especially, because I know energy work went into those wands, and energy is felt. I have a wand currently that I crafted, and it's not the prettiest one, but it works because I stripped off the bark. I took my bowline knife and I twiddled it, and I took a rag and I wiped it down with the linseed. All of these are energy works. They work towards what your intention is there for the magical instrument. So I want you to remember that. So before you start asking everyone, well, do it for me. No. It's okay to have a person start the magic for you, but you should always be the one finishing it. You should always put your intention into your work, because believe me, more than them, you know what it's for. You know why you're using it. You know the intention that needs to be placed in it. And you are the best person to put that work in, because it's your spell. I mean, let's face it. Think of it like going to a tailor. You can have the person alter the pants and make them fit you, but ultimately you got to be the one wearing them pants. You got to be the one zipping them, buttoning them. What are you going to do? Okay, you've altered the pants. Now zip them and button them on me now. and put the belt on them. No, you're not going to do that. They may have cut it and they may have stitched it, but ultimately you're going to have to style it. You're going to have to figure out the perfect shirt or blouse or sweater that matches them. You're going to have to figure out the right belt or shoes to wear with them. You have to finalize it. My suggestion is you should create it from beginning to end. But if you can't do it from beginning to end, dag nabbit, you better have a hand in it. Otherwise, it will not be as effective as it would be if you did. So, I've been preachy enough for the last, 26 minutes or so, and I've been interrupted by the dog and by my daughter Moon Dawn. So, on all of that note, Earthy Wise Woman's going to end this video. But remember, I'm just going to say it again. These items will be on sale on my Etsy store. So I'm going to show them to you again. This one. And I'm going to probably list it under multi hued money candle or multicolored money candle. But remember all that energy work. And this doll, I'm not going to list prices or say them here. This poppet will be listed on my store. But all things are handmade, even this one. All things are handmade. And remember, even if it may not be the prettiest, it doesn't have to be pretty, but the crafting, the time that it took, it's very important to put that in. Magic does not need to be rushed, nor should it be rushed, but it should be effective. Take your time. Put the crafty in there. Put the time and energy into your magic, and it will pay off. Anyway, Earthy Wise Woman here and there and everywhere, saying y'all have a blessed day. And remember, question what you see and hear. Trust in what you feel. Blessings.